Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Captain, and today I'm going to be reviewing and talking about and showing you how to play Dice Miner. But before we get into that, I do want to say I've got a bunch of links in the description down below that you can check out at your leisure. If you're in a position to and would like to help with the channel, there's a link to my Patreon in the description down below. And if you'd like to get yourself some cool gamer gear, buy some Board Game Captain merch, there is a link to my Teespring store in the description down below. And also, if you would like to check out BoardGameCaptain.com, which is a great hub for all things Board Game Captain, link in the description down below. So now, I'd like to start out this review by thanking Atlas Games, who published this game and sent me a free copy to play and review and do some content with. So thank you, Atlas Games, for that. Now, Dice Miner was published by Atlas Games, like I just said there. Let me show you that logo there. And it was designed by Joshua Debonis and Nikola Resteski. I hope I have not butchered these two names. Let me show you them here so you can correct me down below on the pronunciation if I have gotten them wrong. Okay, so Dice Miner is a dice drafting game. It's a cross between a dice game and a board game, but the board is a vertical board, which is a very interesting concept. The game is listed as for 1 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, and for 20 to 30 minutes. So I've played specifically this game at 2 players and 4 players. I've played it numerous times at 4. I do like it better with more players, like 3 or 4 around there, though I, full disclosure, have not actually tried it at 3, but I've tried it at 4 a bunch, like I said. I do like it at 2, but I like it better with more players. Then for the ages 10 and up, this might even be able to go a little lower than that. This is a very easy to understand game, very easy to learn, very easy to teach. I might go down as far as 8 on that. And for the 20 to 30 minutes, that's a pretty good estimate. This is a fairly quick game. 30 minutes is a long game in my opinion. So yeah, this game does generally come in under half an hour. Like I said, I've played it like about, I think somewhere between like 10 and 12 times at this point, and it generally comes in under half an hour. And the more you play it, the quicker it is, because as you get used to the rules, of course. All right, so let's open it up and show you what comes in the box here. So the first thing we have is the rule book. Now the rules are very well done. Full color, lots of examples on how to do things, pictures of what all the sides of all the different types of dice are, explanations of all the abilities. I would say that this rule book is very well done with no ambiguities. I didn't have any real issues with this, and it's a total of 7 pages. So 7 pages and you are ready to play. This is very quick to go over, very easy to learn and play. There's also the rules for solo games. I have not checked this out yet because I haven't tried a solo game of Dice Miner yet. So I can't comment on that. I'm going to put that aside for right now. Next, we have a pad for scoring. Now, this is not exclusively necessary, but it's nice. It has little reminders on the pad that to remind you to score each type of die, which is really good. And yeah, I like that they include this. This is really nice. It's a really thick pad. It's got lots and lots of pages, and the opposite sides of the pages have the scoring for the solo mode on them. Next, we have these cardboard punch-out tokens that are used for the characters. The artwork on the characters are great, and they all have clear symbology on the bottoms of the characters to show you what their asymmetrical abilities are. Basically, these characters have symbols on the bottom that allow them to always have these symbols, as if you have dice with these symbols face up in front of you, to use those abilities, which is a really, really cool effect. It definitely increases the replayability of this game. Next, we have my favorite component in this box, the board, because the board, first time you open this up, you're going to have to put it together, but then this part here stays permanently in here. You don't have to take it out. All you take out is the stand. The stand is very easy to put on. It was a little tricky to get assembled the first time to get the this zigzag base into the board, but once you've got that assembled, since you never need to disassemble that part, putting the base on for future plays is super easy. And this is really cool. Having this angled vertical board out on the table to have the dice on to draft from is really awesome, and is my favorite part of this game. You'll be seeing this out when we are showing you how to play this game. Next, you have a nice bag to randomize the dice. You shuffle up the dice, and you're to set up for each round, you either pour them or you can kind of randomly grab some and dump them out onto the mountain here, the vertical board, to get a randomization of the dice out there, and this is really cool. And then to show you, we've got a bunch of dice of different colors. These are custom dice, and they are really cool. They're very nice, beautiful colors. Love these dice here. Lots of great symbols on them. I am a big fan of these custom dice. Just going to show a few more. You'll see more of them out on the table while we're playing. So that is everything that comes in the box for Dice Miner. Now I'm going to take you over. We're going to run you through a full round of play to show you how this game plays. And then we're going to come back. I'm going to talk about how this game plays and feels. I'm going to rate it and review it. And I'm going to give a second opinion from one of the people I played this game with. Okay, so here we are set up to play a game of Dice Miner. So the first thing you do when you're getting ready to play a game of Dice Miner is you set up the vertical mountain board in the middle of the table. You get out the dice, you draw one of the tunnel dice for each player, because these are rolled off to see who goes first. They have numbers on most sides and a beer on one side. The beer counts as the 6 for the purpose of rolling to see who goes first. You also take out all of the character cards, because after we find out who goes first, we're going to be picking our characters. So right now, Lynn and I are just playing 2 players. So Lynn, let's roll off. Ooh, I got a 1.
Got a beer.
Lynn got the beer. So because Lynn got the beer, Lynn is going to be going first. But that means that the last player gets to pick their character first. So I'm going to pick my character. I've decided I'm going to be the Dragon Slayer. He gets an automatic shield, which counts as a die with a shield up, and also 1 magic diamond. So he counts as having 1 point of magic from when we get to the magic phase. So I'm going to take him, put him in front of me, and I'm going to pass them all to Lynn for Lynn to pick her character.
I'm going to be the Surveyor.
So why don't you show the Surveyor to the camera and explain what their abilities are?
The Surveyor gets a 1 on a tunnel die and a reroll.
Because it has a magic diamond there, yeah. So we both have a free reroll. You get the 1 on the tunnel die, which is actually really good. So now what we do is we're going to put those dice we used back in the bag. We're going to mix up the bag thoroughly. And then we're going to randomly roll out some dice onto the mountain here. So we're going to do a little bit of random rolling, only adjusting if they go into a location where they shouldn't be. Like these 2, I'm just going to pick them up and roll them up top. Similar, whoops, there we go. And a couple more. There we go. Okay, so we have the mountain now full. We put the rest of the dice on the side. And since Lynn is going first, we now move on to the excavation phase. So Lynn is going to pick one of the dice that has to be on top. And for it to be on top, both of its top 2 sides must be open. So with the starting mountain, there are only 2 possible dice that are currently open and available. And that is that blue magic die, which has both its top sides open, and this black hazard die. I'm fairly certain I know which one you're going to take.
Yeah.
Okay, so very good. Now, I think I'm going to go for a bit of the old treasure here. I'm going to take this one with the 2 treasure on it and put it in front of me. You have to keep it on the same face that was showing. So Lynn took the pickaxe, which means she's going to get to turn the cave-in symbols, like the ones here, from negative points into positive points. Normally they're a hazard, which means she could now take that. Now I already have a shield on mine, which means these dragons can be turned into positive points because of my shield. It came on my character, the Dragon Slayer. So I'm going to take that because it's actually worth positive points for me. Okay, now I'm already going for treasure, so I'm going to take me a treasure. But I have a sneaking suspicion that Lynn is going to go for that number 2 because she's already got a number 1.
I do.
Indeed. Now, I do not have a number 1, so I could use this number 1 off the tunnel die here. So I'm going to take that and add it to my dice pool. And there's a beer. Oh, Lynn got the beer. You know what? I want a beer too. And there's another beer on this side. I'm going to take that beer. Every die, no matter the type, all have beers.
So I'm going to share my beer with you.
Okay, so now to share the beer with me, she's going to re-roll the beer. It came up a single treasure, so thank you for the treasure. But now Lynn gets to take 2 dice, and they don't just have to be ones on top. She can take side dice. So for instance, this one with the 2 cave-ins, which will actually be worth points for her, or this one with the 3 re-rolls with the 3 magic dice are available to her, which is pretty awesome.
Those are the 2 I was going to take.
Oh, well, okay. I called it. Yeah, I was going to say, well, they are the logical ones to take. I don't blame you. You know what? I'm going to share a beer with you. Let's do that again. So I'm going to roll. Oh, and I gave you a beer. So I get to take 2 as well. Now, I want the 2 here because I already have the 1, and I need to make straights with the tunnel dice. And for my second one, I'm going to take, because I'm going whole hog in on the treasure at the moment, I'm going to take this treasure.
I'm going to share another beer with you.
Oh, I appreciate it. Oh, and it's a 3. That's a wonderful beer to share with me because now I have a 1, 2, 3.
I'm going to take this one.
Ooh, multiplying the... So Lynn just took, let me just show that here. Lynn just took another pickaxe and she took a set of 3 treasure chests. Now the multiple pickaxes will multiply the number of points she's going to get for cave-ins. So now each cave-in is now worth 2 points because she has 2 pickaxes. That's really, really awesome. In addition, the 3 treasure chests means she's going to get to hold on to 3 of her dice at the end of the round without having to re-roll them. So that's pretty great. So I'm finally, I believe we are both finally out of beers. Just having a look there. I think I'm going to actually take this hazard die because it's got a couple dragons and they're worth points for me. Okay, Lynn took a 5. I'm going to take a 1. And Lynn took the last one. So now we're done with the excavation phase. We're going to go on to the magic phase. We're going to get to use our magical symbols on some of the dice or on our character cards to re-roll some of these dice. Okay, so since Lynn took the last turn on the excavation phase, I take the first turn on the magic phase. Now, I only have 1 magic symbol for a re-roll, and that is because it's the one that is printed on my character card. I did not collect any magic dice. So I've got a 1, 2, 3. I don't want to re-roll any of those. I've got a whole lot of treasure, and definitely the most treasure on the board. I definitely don't want to re-roll those. I can't re-roll the hazard dice. The only die I could re-roll is the 1 tunnel die, which is currently going to be worth a point to me. I could re-roll it to try to get a 4, but there's only a 1 in 6 chance, so I'm going to waive my re-roll and not use it. Instead, I'm just going to pass, and it's going to go on to Lynn's turn for her magic phase.
I'm going to use this magic die to re-roll these 2 to hope to get a 3 and a 4.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you want to get a nice big straight. Well, you've got a lot of possible re-rolls, so that's not too bad.
Okay.
No, didn't get to...
I'm going to use my 1 re-roll on my surveyor to just re-roll this one.
Okay.
Nope.
No, unfortunately not. And then, of course, the other die you had would have required you to re-roll 3 dice, and it looks like you probably want to hold on to the rest of those, right?
I'm thinking.
You're thinking you might do re-roll one of them? So the thing is, you can use the magic dice to re-roll other magic dice, but only if you haven't used them yet. So she can't re-roll this other magic die, which means that if she wants to use her die with the 3 re-rolls here, she could use it to re-roll the 2 white dice that she's still trying to get a 3 and a 4 with, but she'll have to pick something else to re-roll.
I'm going to use it.
So what are you going to re-roll with it?
The treasures.
Ooh, giving up the chance to hold on to stuff for next round. This is a gamble. Okay, let's see if it pays off. It did pay off. So she got 2 3s. One of them's going to be useless, but the other one's going to be 3 points. And she got another pickaxe, which the other pickaxe means she's going to get another multiplier for the points for the cave-ins, which are now worth 3 points apiece. I'm fairly certain Lynn is going to come out on top on this round. So now we're going to score. So for scoring, the way this goes is we first check our points for the tunnel dice. Let's do Lynn's first. Lynn, how many points do you have for the tunnel dice?
I have 6.
So now the way that is counted is you make straights with the tunnel dice, starting with the number 1. If you don't have a 1, you can't make a straight. And every pip on the dice is a point. So she has a 1 on her character and a 2 and a 3. Combined, that is 6 points. Next, she's going to get points for treasures, but she doesn't have any, correct? Mm-hmm. Now, the way treasure points work is you get 1 point per treasure, double points if you have the most treasures. And then the next thing we're going to check is negative or positive points for the hazard dice. So you would normally get negative points for them, but the only hazards Lynn has is cave-ins, and pickaxes turn those into positive points. She has 3 pickaxes, which means it's 3 points per cave-in. How many points have you got?
12.
Which brings you up to a grand total of 18 points. Huge score for first round. Congratulations. Now, we're going to move on to mine. So I have a 1, a 2, and a 3 as well for the straights for the tunnel dice. I also have a single 1. Now, you can do a straight of only 1 if you have a 1. So that means I have a total of 7 points for the tunnel dice. Moving on for the treasures, I have 5 treasures on my treasure dice. So with the 5 treasures on my treasure dice, I get to double them because I have the most treasures. So that is 10 points. Brings me up to 17. Followed by my hazard dice, which I have 4 dragons total, but I do have a shield on my Dragon Slayer card that gives me another 4 points for a total of 21 points. So actually I passed Lynn by, but very close. We both got a lot of points for the first round. That was a very good scoring round. So now we would move on to the replenish phase. So for the replenish phase, the first thing we do is cash dice based on the number of treasure chests we had collected. Now, Lynn before had a die with the 3 treasure chests on it, but she re-rolled it and lost that. So none of us have treasure chests. So since we can't recash any, what we just do is we're going to pick them all up and re-roll them. So we're going to give our full dice pool a re-roll. Oh, that's, holy crap, did I get a lot of cave-ins. That's not good for me.
I got 4 beers.
Wow, I got 1 beer, but wow, you got a lot of beer. Now, once we have re-rolled them, we're going to identify the new starting player based on whoever has the least points. That would be Lynn currently, because she just has a few points less than me. And then we refill the mountain again and go for round 2. You do 3 rounds of this, scoring at the end of each round, and whoever has the most points wins the game of Dice Miner. So now let's head back over. We're going to talk about how this game plays and how it feels. And I'm going to rate it and review it, and I'm going to give a second opinion from someone else who we played this game with. Welcome back. So that was how you play a game of Dice Miner. So you have 3 rounds. Each round, you randomly basically deal the dice out onto the mountain. The vertical board, which again, like I said in the introduction, is my favorite, absolutely favorite component of this game. It's so cool. I love the vertical board. You can see the faces that are facing outwards are the ones that you are drafting. You draft them, you keep that face out, you put it in front of you, and that releases more that are now available for your opponents to get. I love the mechanic in this of the beer. I love sharing a beer with someone. Especially when you get a beer on a hazard die, because then you can actually give it to someone who's doing really well to give them negative points. Of course, it is a risk because if they manage to get either the shield or the pickaxe, they can turn those negative points into positive points depending on whether you gave them cave-ins or dragons. But all the different ways to score, the magic to let you do re-rolls, the beers to let you draw extra dice. You get 2 dice when you do a beer, and they don't have to be ones on top. They can be ones out of the side, which sometimes, depending on how they've been taken, sides open up in the middle of the mountain sometimes, because if you've taken a bunch from one side, there'll be a whole bunch of new dice available that are side dice, because they're on the side of that particular formation of dice. It's a lot of fun. Plus, the asymmetrical player powers. There's so many elements to this game I really like. I don't really have a downside to this game. This game is incredibly enjoyable, incredibly fun. I think the designers did a great job on Dice Miner. This is kind of on the either the heavier end of lightweight or the lighter end of medium weight in regard to how heavy this game is. It's really easy to play. It only comes in, like I said, half an hour or quicker. Really easy to teach people how to play. But for that weight, that area it's in, this is a fantastic game that I know I'm going to be bringing to the table a lot more. So now I want to start by throwing out some quotes from my mom. We brought this game with us. We went on a recent family trip down to visit my mom and stepdad because most of us had been vaccinated. There was only one person in the whole group that hadn't been vaccinated, and they had been isolating, which was great. And when we went down to visit, this was one of the games we brought with us. So having brought this with us, we got to play it a whole bunch, and everybody had a really good time with it. And my mom specifically said she was going to pre-order this because at the time it was, I don't know if it's out yet now at the time of the recording of this video, but the time when we were playing it, it hadn't been released yet. And she specifically said she loved it. It was very easy to understand. She wants to play it with her grandkids. So she wanted to buy a copy of Dice Miner. So she was going to pre-order it. And when I asked her, and I asked her before I told her how many stars I was going to give it, I asked her how many stars she would give to Dice Miner, because I said I might want to quote her on it, and she said 8 stars out of 10. And she said that before I told her how many I was going to give it, which is funny because I already knew I was going to give it 8 stars out of 10. Also, because this game is really great. If you like drafting games, and you like games with custom dice, and you like games with interesting different ways to do a board, like the vertical board in here, this is the game for you. This is a lot of fun. This is a great first game on game night. Very easy to teach. It's like an icebreaker, but a little heavier than an icebreaker. Because like I said, it's icebreakers are usually like medium of the lightweight or light of the lightweight, whereas this is kind of heavy side of the lightweight or light side of the medium weight. But I still feel like it could qualify as a first game, like an icebreaker on game night, because it's very easy to teach. And this is the kind of game you might find yourself playing multiple times in a row because it is that fun. It's just really cool. And I love how since you keep all your dice from round to round, you re-roll them and then draft more, the scoring just gets bigger and bigger as the rounds go on until you get on through the third round. Yeah, Dice Miner is a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can thoroughly recommend it to you. If anything I talked about in regard to Dice Miner sounds interesting or fun to you, you should check this one out. There you have it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns on the game of Dice Miner or on this video, feel free to put them in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed watching this review and tutorial and you'd like to see me do more like it, be sure to give it a like, share it on all forms of social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Captain. That's Captain spelled with a K on YouTube. And until next time, game on.